Hi there, and welcome to the next installment of this fun study that we've been having as we get to know each other better. And you'll see I have some new folks with me this week. If you've been watching these regularly, you already know Emily, and we'll be coming to her number in a couple of weeks, by the way. And we're going to pick on you a little bit that day. Bring your husband in, I think, and ask him for some stories. But I also have two really good friends of mine. They are married to each other. This is Kyler and Ashley Milligan. And because of family friends and being together at lots of time over there, what have we known each other? 2 decades almost?
Just I'm not sure.
18 years ago, I think,
Mm-hmm.
is when we first started getting to be friends with your family and then with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so had a lot of good experiences over the years. And we are talking about number 4. And so I got a number 4 right here. Ashley's a 4, and she's creative and she's fun. And Kyler, I don't know, he's a 5, we think, but he might have a 4 wing too. He's also very creative. They make a great couple together. Before we give some illustrations about the 4, where do you find it in the Bible? It's hard to know for sure where the 4s are in the Bible. And I'm talking about that some in the message, but one place you find it is in the poetry. And one example of that is the Song of Songs. The older translation is called the Song of Solomon, and it is so beautiful. This poetry is so romantic. It's a love poem, and in fact, it's rated R. And and the fact that it's rated R, I mean, they wouldn't even let Jewish boys read this until they grew up. Seriously, Jewish moms wouldn't let them read it because it gets very explicit. And I'm not going to read those parts because I taught through this one time and actually it was a challenge a few times. So I got a little flushed. But it starts off like this. Solomon's Song of Songs. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. Don't waste any time getting right after it there. Mm-hmm. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Your name is like perfume poured out. No wonder the young women love you. Take me away with you. Let us hurry. Let the king bring me to his chambers. Oh my goodness. And then it just goes into more and more detail and more and more detail. And some people say it's all about Christ and the church, but I think, that might be there, but I think it's about romance and love and how God feels about it, which is positive in the right context, right? This is and they date and they get married, and it's just full of beautiful poetry. You get to the end and you read things like this. Under the apple tree, I roused you. There your mother conceived you. There she who was in labor gave you birth, placed me like a seal over your heart, like a seal on your arm. For love is as strong as death. Its jealousy unyielding as the grave. It burns like blazing fire, like a mighty flame. I don't know for sure where 4s show up in the Bible, but I do know it's in poetry because a lot of them times they are artists, they are creative in different ways. And so we're going to get into it a little bit. Emily, where are we going to start? How about with something a 4 should know about themselves?
Okay. So kind of like how 8 should know that they have the most energy out of all of the types, a 4 needs to know that they have the most easy access to emotions and that the other 8 types don't have that. And so if you know that about yourself, you can realize that not everybody around you is feeling as much as you are. And I think that can help you if you assume that everybody's feeling all the time. Certain numbers are trying really hard not to feel or to push down emotions, and so that's a gift that you have.
And 5s would be one of those, right? We're going to talk about them next week.
For sure.
So maybe it's good that you guys are together as a 5 and a 4 because maybe there's enough emotion to go around right here. You can't feel as much as she can. You got to be the calm one, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and that you can feel in any moment. Like you can find the beauty and the feelings, deep feelings in anything really. And that's totally a gift because not everybody can do that.
And 4s are the only number that have something like that in it?
4s have the easiest access to that. So 4s don't own creativity. It's just supernatural. Like, not supernatural. It's super natural for them.
Oh, I see what you did there. That could go either way.
So other numbers can get there. For 4s, it's just there all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was reading that 4s can feel as much emotion in 1 hour as others in a whole day. So let's see, it's 2:30. You've already had a lot of motion going today, haven't you?
Not today, but usually.
Not today.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's moisture.
Every day is different. And sometimes there's ups and there's downs, right? What's another tip?
So a second one. So with that is that 4s can tend to associate so strongly with their feelings that sometimes they can believe that they are what they feel. And so with that, if say something feels kind of small, then you might feel small yourself. And then if you have a really strong feeling about something, then you feel strong. And so 4s can get on the other end of this, maybe stuck in feeling like they absolutely are their emotions. So that's something to be aware of, that emotions are not facts. They come and go. And so if emotions come and go throughout the day, you can feel like your own sense of identity can come and go throughout the day as well.
You relate to that? So part of becoming a healthy 4 is learning to differentiate yourself from your feelings.
Well, and it's learning to have that balance of fully knowing that you're gifted to be able to feel that much, but then also knowing who you are. And that who you are and your value doesn't change based on what you're feeling that day.
That's good.
That's good.
Okay, so what should they know about themselves?
What should we know about them? That's next.
Oh, that's next. Okay.
So what we should know about them is how much they value authenticity and just being genuine. So when they do have a feeling, they're going to express it because to them that feels like the most authentic thing in the moment. And it's really important to 4s to not fake it, to not, I mean, if I'm feeling it, let's just do it.
And they don't like other people that fake it either, do they?
Right.
You like people that are real. And you can see through it if they're not.
Yeah,
Wants everybody else to be that way. For sure.
I do. I like everything you just said. Yes.
Yeah.
What else?
So we need to know that they are creative because they're wired to see what's different when they walk into a room or into a relationship. They're just geared towards seeing what's different, and that gives them such a strength of creativity that they can see what's not even there. So they can see an ordinary object and they can see potential in it, or they can see depth in it. And so that's like their gifting. Where that gets a little to the negative side is when they start to focus that on themselves and they feel different all the time, or they start to notice how they don't fit in, and then they have like a longing to both fit in, but then they really don't want to fit in. Like you feel like you're not quite a part, but then you don't really want to be the same as everybody. So again, it's just that two sides of the same
There's this
thing.
dilemma.
The gift and
They
then,
want to be different and unique, but they don't want to miss out on what other people are experiencing. So tell me about how you guys reacted when you first heard about the Enneagram. Were you all excited about this new tool, this ancient tool that we're uncovering? Or did you think it was, what did you think? Be honest. What did you think?
You go
Yeah.
first.
You go first.
I was pretty harsh about it, for sure.
You thought it was stupid?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. It's kind of
Still
like,
trying to figure it, yeah.
You know, but it's just there's too many ups and downs in life to just
Yeah.
be like.
That's you.
It's
Well-
not. I know it's not really stuck in a box, but it's. And if they put me in
Discount it.
5, I'm like, I'm gonna be 7. Watch
There
this.
you go.
Yeah.
Just prove you
Or
wrong.
whatever, you know.
So you started
I'm gonna
doing the
pick a different
test.
number.
You started doing the test,
Yeah.
and what happened?
And I got really sad and kind of threw my phone. And then
You threw your phone?
Yeah, I was
Why?
so mad. I just because it started saying things like, "Do you just do nothing?" And one of my things is I'm not really a motivated person, or I'm just kind of chill, and I like to take my time with things. So type A people I have a hard time with, like people who are go-getters. I feel pushed and I feel it's just too much. So yeah,
So it made you mad.
it made me mad.
So you
and
didn't
then,
even finish.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Not the first time. It took me a couple.
So, yeah, that's sometimes, I read somewhere that a 4 is very likely to say, I'm none of those numbers. Because just like you, they don't want to be put in a box.
Yeah.
But when you ask your son, who's 15, to look at all the numbers and tell you what he thought, what did he say?
He said bipolar.
You're the bipolar number.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? He was right.
Yeah.
Because fours are
Pretty accurate.
mood swingers.
Yeah.
Mood swingers. So what's it like to live with a four with sometimes there's drama, right?
I enjoy it
Hmm.
for sure.
But you gotta be like the calm factor.
I try to be. I think
Hmm.
there's definitely an attempt to be, but then you just quit trying after 5 minutes, and you're like, well, she's a number 4.
There you go. Now you got vocabulary.
So, yeah. so
So
that's that.
and
Like,
that makes her
just
wonderful.
let her be who she is.
So you guys always talk about how you're soulmates. You do. You always say he's your soulmate, and you guys seem like you have a great relationship together.
Oh, yeah.
That's great when that happens, when people are able to get each other and just have fun together in life. And you're telling me even going shopping can be an experience together. So how's that?
Oh, he has fun with me. So he's pretty calm all the time, but yet he accepts me for me. And if I wanted to make out in the aisles, or if I want to jump in the cart and have him push me around like at Murdoch's, he does that. So that's what I love.
Those are real stories, huh?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, recently even, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of us.
Every grocery outing.
It might be interesting, but it's not boring,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, no.
And married to a 4.
Never mind.
So do you ever feel like no one gets you?
Yeah.
You do?
Mhm.
All your life? Off and on?
Yeah, off and on.
How many different colors have you had of hair, by the way?
I don't know.
Quite a few.
A lot.
Quite a few. That's part of it.
All of them.
4s don't want to be ordinary. They want to be unique.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel like there's a misconception about that, though. I don't feel like it's intentional. I feel like people want to say that they're trying to be, but if I was what I wanted to be all the time, it would be embarrassing to people around me, I think, because of, or you know what I mean? Like, I would stand out so much that I wouldn't be comfortable.
So you tone it down, you're telling me?
Yeah, I tone it
Oh,
down.
my
I filter
goodness.
myself, and you don't even
Yeah,
think that I
right.
filter myself, but I really
But there is
filter
a-
Oh,
myself.
if I only knew.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks for the warning. You're both so artsy. We walked around your house and looked at the walls, and you're telling me every single picture had a reason or a story behind it or a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's true?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Part of your artsiness and
No
you
wasted
playing
time.
music and baking and making cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you know makes cheese out of their own goat milk?
What
I
I'm
mean,
really
they got the
excited
goats, they
about
got the
right
milk,
now.
and they got the cheese. It's pretty cool.
It is cool.
And, sometimes I just can't help but say, you're weird.
Mm.
I call you a weirdo on Facebook. And it's like you like it.
Yeah.
You're okay with if I call you weird or hippie or something like that?
I just feel like the people that are called weird usually are being themselves and expressing themselves, and so it's a compliment to me. I feel like if it's toned down and things are pushed down, then they're normal, and to me that's not pretty. So I like to be called weird because I like weird, I guess.
Well, I like that about you. So one more thing I was going to share here. I saw your Facebook post on Valentine's Day and it just cracked me up because it seems so much like a 4. Because all these other people are putting up all these lovey-dovey things,
Yeah.
and you say, picture of Saint Valentine, and you say, Saint Valentine was a man dedicated to spreading love. He officiated many weddings and could continue to do so even after the emperor had demanded him to stop. The emperor was anti-marriage. He felt that it was a distraction for his soldiers and that they would be more committed to fighting battles if they were single. Did you study all this stuff?
Yeah,
Oh.
I loved it.
Since Saint Valentine did not stop encouraging people to marry, he was thrown in prison. There he fell in love with the prison guard's daughter. She was blind and God used him to heal her. On February 14th, 269 AD, a long time ago,
Mhm.
right before he was beheaded, Saint Valentine wrote his love a letter and signed it, Your Valentine. And then you wrote, I personally think this is one of the sweetest stories. Happy Valentine's Day, my friends. Like, only you would think a guy getting his head cut off is romantic. But that's very characteristic, I think, of a 4. That, you like, I mean, a lot of the great artists that wrote novels and Shakespeare and plays like Romeo and Juliet and those kind of things were 4s. who can get in touch with the real things of life,
Mm-hmm.
like love and beauty and death, even.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about how to love a 4.
Yeah, how to love a 4. Okay, so we've talked about the ups and downs of emotions, and so when a 4 is down, it can be other types' tendency to try to cheer them up, and that's not how you're going to love your 4. Rather seek to understand what they're feeling instead of trying to fix what they're feeling, because
Mm-hmm.
they don't want you to change. That's what feels most authentic in the moment, and so they don't want you to change it. They just want you to understand it.
How about if somebody tells you, just put a smile on your face?
Yeah, I get super mad.
That doesn't work.
Goes in the wrong direction.
No, I'm just like, don't tell me to smile. That's not what I feel. So, yeah, I don't like that. And also, I wanted to say, when I've been in a mourning process of sorts, of different things, I guess is what I'm trying to say, my mom or people have said, oh, it's okay, get over it, quit crying. And it makes me so mad because I'm like, there's a process you're going through when you're crying, and I think you have to sit in it. So I think that's funny because I think it goes along with what you're talking about.
But you're probably also really good for being there for other people in their
yes.
emotion.
Oh, yes.
Because the 4s are not going to try to just solve problems. They're going to try to feel the pain with people.
Mm-hmm.
They can be really
I do-
helpful when other
I
people
do-
are in crisis.
Yeah, I do try to make them laugh, but I'm also there to sit with them. If
She's
Uh-huh.
good at it.
Yeah.
You see that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What else you got?
I got one more. So, 4s tend to do a kind of a push-pull in relationships. Well, they'll draw really close, and then they'll need some space, so they'll back off. And so we can tend to take that super personally, and it's not personal. It's just the way they are, and so you can love them by not taking it personal when they need some space, or when they need time to process, or when they just need to zone out for a bit. And then in contrast, they draw close and need to be close to you. If you can be steady, then that's one way to love your 4.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything to add to that?
No, he's good.
I don't really feel like you're that way.
What did I?
You don't push away.
Well,
Like she'll get closer for sure,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but it's not like you need your. That's more. I'm more of the escapist,
Mm-hmm.
not you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't do that.
But you've never
You
had
just-
any
you have
like
closer
blow-ups
times.
at anybody that had to get over it later. And
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And I feel like with friends, you pull them close, but once they start getting close, you have obligations, and I don't want obligations, so then I push them away. And it's like, and then I just need to let them know, like, I have a hard time making plans and stuff. I don't know if that's a number 4, but I don't like anybody to pin me down. And so getting close, sometimes it means you're going to hang out all the time, and I can't have that. So,
You don't want them to leave your life.
no.
So don't take it personal.
Yes, that's so
Stick
true.
with me.
I'm a lover. I don't want anybody to leave my
Yeah.
life. That's super sad. But yeah, I do need to push them away a little. But you're right.
So if they don't come to all your things, that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean anything about you. Well, it could.
Depends on
but
the day.
general.
Depends on the day.
In general.
Yeah, they should probably show up.
Well, thank you so much for being willing to share and allow me to teach a little bit too in the process. And we love you and appreciate you.
Yeah, love you. And
You
you're
guys-
welcome.
Have a good discussion.
Mhm.
Be nice to the 4s.